That sounds awesome.
I kind of love that.
Yeah. So, hi everyone. I think the more you hear it, the more you get grades. Hi everyone. Welcome to another Wyldrvir Playtest. I'm B. I am GMing for some really fun people. I'll go chat order again. Awesome folks, would you like to introduce yourself, the name and pronouns of your character, and maybe what you do outside of this one playtest? So, CJ.
Yeah. Hello, I'm CJ. My pronouns are she, her. I will be playing Sprocket, who is, her pronouns are she, her, and she's a koboloi, and she's kind of an inventor who gets into all sorts of mishaps. Outside of this, I do a lot of, TTRPG, writing, some audio stuff as hobbies, and professionally, I actually work as a linguist for an academic search engine. Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's really fun. Cobalt.
Well, hello everyone. My name is Cobalt. Pronouns are he, him. I play Rodius Pumice, a stone elf from Torin. Totally didn't use a name generator for that. Nope, not at all. Professionally, I don't really do much. I work at a grocery store and as a cleaner for several offices. I occasionally stream on Twitch, and I'm usually on social media talking incessantly about Dungeons and Dragons.
Nice.
And that's about it for me.
Hi, I'm Melody. I also go by Mother Multiverse. I make games on Itch a lot, almost obsessively, mostly a game jam addiction. Tonight I'm going to be playing Kombucha. She is an orc. She is a genius chef who wants to explore the wilds and bring back unknown flavors to everyone to share, because it's always good to have good food.
Mm-hmm. And finally...
Hi, I'm Melody, or Sweetie Chibi. I am going to be playing Ekios, a human plague doctor. There's also just a medic and trying to help people however they can. And I work at a call center, and I love doing digital art and drawing. So.
How do you say the name again?
Ekios.
Okay.
Pronouns they them for both of us. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Sweet. All right. I just messed with my voice settings. Is that good? I don't know.
You're a bit quiet.
All right, let me turn that up. I didn't want my thing to be catching my clicking. How's that?
You're all right.
All right, cool.
So, all right. So I'm gonna say, because just the way these characters are set up, let's have the story start. Yeah. Okay. So you are in the city-state of Cindir. A rather hostile environment, Cindir comes off imposing the most. Few people automatically think of living here, and the people who do have to innovate. Creating cooling systems inside of buildings, as well as developing means of travel for speed, so people don't overheat by walking. One of the biggest attractions in Cindir is a volcano that has an observation station on its summit. One of the biggest draws to Cindir is academia, museums, research outposts, and scientific locales being commonplace. It is not the city of invention so much as it is the city of learning. This is the weird mix of the apex of thrill junkies, because volcano, and also a lot of learned types stay in the town. As for you all, Unless you guys have anything to the contrary, I'm gonna say that you all are on your journey, which everyone in Wyldrvir usually takes to visit the city-states and go around and learn things, you know? Do you think you guys have formed a group already, or do you think it was happenstance that you've met up in the city?
I thought the base assumption was that we were a group before we start or something like that.
Yeah,
wasn't
that
it?
is the base assumption. I always like to give people the option just to be safe, you know?
Yeah.
But I usually work off of assuming you guys are traveling. So yeah. Actually, let's do this. In a city like this, starting with kombucha, what are you wanting to acquire out of the city state? What would you want out of a fiery academic place like this?
Well, this place is like a giant oven, and I've heard you can literally like cook things just by like putting them slightly outside. And so she's very focused on like going, but you can cook anything here, even things that they say might be uncookable because of the amazing amount of heat. Of course, it might burn or burst into flames before you get it back, but it's amazing. We have to eat everything.
Wants to use the active volcano to cook something. Don't worry,
Yep.
it's going to be amazing.
I mean, I've heard the phrase "it's so hot you could cook an egg on the sidewalk," but I think she's taking it a bit too literally.
So, Sprocket, what do you want out of the city?
I think two things, both of which are sort of connected. First of all, Sprocket wants to know how these cooling systems work. She loves understanding machines and mechanisms, and she knows how hot it is here, and she wants to know how they do it. I think also it's just a very, like you said, an academic city, and she loves learning, and she loves learning by watching. She was the kind of kid who skipped school to go, learn from master tinkerers instead of sitting there and, practicing her handwriting. So she wants to see the libraries, see all the learning that happens in this place.
Okay. Akios.
Achios, definitely, of course, first they would want to get cleaned up as they are a massive germaphobe and just kind of generally terrified of everything. But then certainly would head right to the library. So hopefully the two of us would, meet up or go there together because they want to learn more about how they have the ability to not just heal as their time, being a doctor, but actually having managed to learn how to cure with healing magic. So kind of learning more about that and kind of what's happening would definitely be awesome. Because even though it's 2 generations in, some of this stuff wouldn't be, there wouldn't be too much knowledge for some people who were born on the fringes.
Yeah. And Radius, what do you want out of this?
Well, Radius is the kind of person who has an eye for details and also has a bit of a flair for the dramatic. So he's probably looking around, exploring the area and being like, if someone were to make a movie out of this, like, hey, this could be an interesting place for a movie, or hey, this could make for an amazing painting or photo or something to that extent. Like, he wants to be able to capture it. He wants to be able to capture the beauty.
Okay. So it sounds like the place that everyone would be kind of ending up towards is the library, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'll let this play out, but I think specifically Sprocket and Akios are probably the ones who are to try the library first as you enter this city. And it is like the cooling system, the way to describe it is like almost at the edge of every house. There are these like fans and like the sprinkler things that you find in zoos,
Mm-hmm.
So every like couple places there's something that sprays water to keep you cool. and the volcanic area is like in the far corner. So like in the distance, you see the silhouettes of the mountain with like smoke rising. You know.
Okay. Dig it.
Also, even though the volcano in Cindir is technically active, the anytime anything were to come out, it never touches the city. It's built in such a way, you know.
Got it.
So there's probably like a cool like lava flow lake in the middle of town, but it's covered up with like so much stuff, you know. There's like an observation deck, but not much else.
That's very cool.
So we can't go diving into the lava. Got it.
Probably not.
Well, you could. You just wouldn't come out.
Actually, that's not true. A person fell in lava before and was perfectly fine. See, lava cools pretty rapidly, and so they were able to survive just as long as you're wearing, actually clothes. You should be perfectly okay as long as you get out of it quickly enough and are quickly washed off. So it all depends. I mean, if it is an active eruption, you would die horribly. But if it's after just a few short minutes, you'd be fine.
So what you're saying
If it's singed.
So what you're saying is there's a chance.
Yeah.
I think Claudius is
and completely germ-free.
Kombucha just dreams about like throwing food onto an active lava flow as it like almost serves itself, like sliding down.
Oh boy, it sounds like the library is being contested for where to see first.
Interesting.
If you guys want to go to the lava flow, like it's up to y'all.
Oh, maybe after researching the library, because I mean, number one, he's probably got to figure out how to get past security to be that crazy near the volcano. Number two, he's probably got to look up recipes first, maybe. Oh, and I know that our other guy may be looking, libraries sometimes have canvases or paper and other goods, or potentially even something to restock your camera. If you're going to take pictures of our other friend here who we've been traveling with as they attempt this absolutely ridiculous stunt. One can only hope that these photos aren't later used by the authorities to arrest all of us.
Oh, come on.
I mean, worst case.
What are they going to arrest us for? Having a nice swim?
The only true crime is not enjoying the kind of things that you can enjoy. So, yeah, I'll look at a book maybe on recipes, or look for a book on recipes that are traditional dishes of this area.
Yeah. So you
also,
all...
wait. Before we go to the library, and Sprocket just kneels down and takes out a little scratch pad and starts drawing out the mechanisms of one of these cooling systems, just a random house they're standing outside, just to capture the basic, so that fan connects to that little cable, and then there's a kind of a nut that, I see. Interesting.
Do you want to roll
Okay, I'm ready.
How much you got out of that?
Sure. I have a D8 tech savvy and a D12 genius inventor.
I think D12, because this is more specifically the inventing of it.
Okay. I got a natural 1.
It's just very cool. Well, okay, so in Wyldrvir, how the rolling works, since that was your D12, you roll the D20 and the D12.
Oh, okay.
Yes, so you...
I need to get my D20 just a moment.
Everything is a D20 in the game. If it's something that you don't have an attribute for, you can still just roll your D20 just to see if you can try it. Obviously, when you can add up to 12 on any given roll,
yes.
Unnatural 20s aren't as great, but nat 20s are still cool.
There we go. Okay. I have my D20. Let's roll that and see what I get. That is... Okay. That's a 16 total.
Oh, that does change things considerably. All right,
Because
so
I got a 15 on my D20.
nice. So, Sprocket, you are new to these. It isn't like it's not like it's not like something where you could just see the blueprint in your head. This is a completely new thing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of imagine there's a moment of almost frustration as you like try and make sense of one of these things, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But eventually you're able to get a rough enough diagram that once you get the information from the library, you'll probably be able to piece this together. But for now, it's more so just like your assumptions, you know.
Okay. Great.
Yeah, you're like, I can't be sure basically the thing you're not sure about is this Magitech or just tech? That's the question of the hour. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And
Right.
that changes the entire design, because if it's just machinery pumping out water, well, that's one thing, you know.
Yeah.
So hard to say, and that's
Okay.
that's what's giving you grief right now. Kombucha, you want recipe books? You all kind of congregate towards the library, and I will take a moment to describe that to you. Give me a second. Yes. The largest library in Cindir, and by extension, Wyldrvir, is before you. Emberhold Library is a massive building set in the main city-state. It's deceptive in size, since on the outside it seems about the same as all the other buildings in the main town, but Emberhold continues well underground in a series of tunnels and corridors. The older articles that need to be more specially taken care of reside in these underground sections, where they can be sectioned off to meet specific needs. The basement sections of Emberhold also accommodate research labs, special talks from people who speak, and anyone who cares to attend about various topics. While one may see the name of the library as an egotistical play by the leader of the city-state, Sir Ember, they actually had nothing to do with the naming of the library, though she has made jokes at the name's expense, often putting books on hold and other articles on hold, just so that way someone at the library has to put an Emberhold in Emberhold. This is the longest running practical joke that Cindir has on record, which has lasted since before Sir Ember was even in charge. This is also possibly the longest running practical joke that is recorded, because the people of Cindir are nerds. But it's this very, like, as you walk in, it's a very, like, ornate, kind of Gothic style library, you know? And you're probably expecting just, like, an older librarian to be sitting there, you know? Anything. You don't really know what you're expecting. You can't make assumptions. What you aren't expecting is that sitting on the desk, kind of curled up, is a little white bird with little red crystals, and they're kind of curled up and just kind of like waddling on their butt. Here they are.
Aw.
They're just
Are
in
you
that.
the librarian? Hello?
Is this the guardian spirit of this place?
It just kind of like it looks at all of you and just kind of like props up onto its little legs. It's very small. It's a very juvenile crystal. You can obviously tell. You know, probably not even a year old. Since it's able to be sitting on a desk. Crystals, as you know, are usually big enough to be like ostriches or emu size, you know? So one this small is a sight, you know? But it does kind of like, as you say, is this the librarian? Is this the spirit? It kind of like tilts its head, like looks up to Achios and just kind of like sticks out their tongue. Just meh.
Well, I would do the same, but I feel the mask, it would not have the same effect.
Sprocket sticks out her tongue back at the creature.
It looks delighted. And then like looking at Achios's beak with its beak, it like bumps your beak with its beak.
What a wonder.
Then it just starts squawking, just making noise. And out from a side room walks a sky elf with big like yellow and black wings. They kind of seem like they were doing something completely different. Like, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't even realize you all were here. They kind of going, "Hey, come on!" And
I'm not too tall.
the
Perfectly fun.
the creature just does a few more jumps off to the side and just starts running. Hehu just starts running it through the library halls.
Energetic little fella, ain't it?
Oh, don't I know it? My partner and I have to deal with them every day. They're basically family, though. Anyway, what brings you here?
I
Well,
suppose a variety of things.
Well, we have a variety of books, so
Sprocket, you go first?
I'm an engineer, and I was wondering if I could read more of your blueprints. I'd love it if you had anything on the cooling system, but also really any blueprints, just to see and to study.
they pull out like really the only way I can give you a visual, and the only like valid visual I can give. I can choose to just say a notepad, but not calling it that notepad from Blue's Clues would be a crime. If I have the opportunity to reference Blue's Clues, I can't not. But anyway, just like one of those, and they write down what you said and nod, and just go, "All right." Then kind of gesturing towards kombucha. And what would you be interested in seeing today?
I would like to see a book on some of the finest cuisine that Cindir has to offer, especially in the lines of traditional things, especially if there's anything that involves cooking with lava and/or natural heat.
Oh, so you're looking for just really artisanal stuff here. All right. They seem like
Well, I
almost
mean, yeah.
Alrighty, this will be interesting. I'm sure we have something somewhere. This place is basically my house. I have it memorized like the back of my hand. It's fine. You there, excitable, one with the stone physique.
Hello, name's Roddy's Pumice. I was wondering if you had anything for taking pictures or something I can use to sketch on. I'd love to
Yes.
capture the beauty of this town.
And you'd like to try? You want to use a traditional photography method? Technically, you could take digital images with the wayfinders, but no. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure something a bit more traditional. I'm sure I can dig up something a bit more traditional for you.
Thank you kindly.
They kind of give you the 2-finger salute, and just turning lastly to Eos, just going like, interesting fashion choice, might I add. It's like, might I ask, what are you interested in, friend?
Oh my, yes. Well, I forgot I was here. Yes. So our bird friend has left, and indeed, I am looking for books.
Ooh.
Oh, books about healing, if at all possible. Things. If you have anything with regards to magic and healing magic.
Ah, yes. They kind of nod, just sort of. By the way, just so you know, once you stepped in, there's like very like relaxing kind of jazz playing. Just typical like. You know exactly what I'm talking about. This place feels like a mix of library and lounge.
Oh, indeed, I lost myself in the music so much I forgot I was here or anywhere in specific.
It's good music.
Thank you. I like keeping a ironically chill tone into this place.
Rocket kind of closes her eyes and sways back and forth a little bit.
There's just like good sax playing in the background.
Oh yeah.
AQOS is tapping their foot lightly.
Groovy.
They just kind of smile and just go like, "You people are interesting. My name's Apis. It's nice to meet all of you."
Oh, hello. I'm Sprocket. She
Thank God.
holds out her little hand.
They shake it, and then just like turning, just going like, "All right, if you all stay here, how do I do this? You all have very interesting requests. They just kind of eye all of you and just go, Follow me. I think I know how I could do this. They seem to have like mentally mapped the way in their mind. And, as they step into the actual halls of the library, Hehu, the little crystal, just starts like getting back to them and jumps on their shoulder. And there's like, ow, 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 obsidian claws, buddy.
Oh.
And they're just like, they tilt their head and then realizing that they're digging into this man's like shoulder, just like.
Oh my, do be cautious, little one, that you not lose your balance. That person looks particularly not stable in that position.
They just kind of nod and just jump and use their wings to flap down slower and it's back on the floor and they skitter away. As this Sky Elf man just starts to like lead you down these hallways, you realize you are going under into the deeper parts of the library, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And they're just like, well, you know, typically the more ornate / old things are kept lower down so they can be put in rooms that we can moderate the temperature of more, you know?
Mm.
Since, you know, we're dealing with books and things that could get damaged by the heat, especially in a town like this. Eventually they do end up in like a couple steps down. There's like a big spiral staircase, very plush stairs, by the way. This place is just decked out, I need to keep saying. Like, you'd think that this library is like one of their top priorities in Cindir, you know? But eventually they reach a section, there's like a door to like a room. And as they open it, it is kombucha. It is wall to wall cooking books, and like hanging on the walls are like old iron pots and pans, just like it looks like this whole room is just cookbooks.
Kombucha's pupils dilate, and she lets out a very it's a delayed kind of and she just like immediately goes kind of like running around the room, just looking at things like frenetic, just bouncing back and forth. Oh my god, and they have a book on this. There's not even books on this. Are there books on this? There, of course there is, because it's right here. She just like, yeah. She is losing it a little bit.
Happy. Apis seems very pleased by this and just goes, give me a moment. Walks back in the hall, goes to another room, and comes back with like a very nice plush, like relaxing chair, you know? And after putting it in there for you, they just kind of go like, you know, feel free to take your time in here. No worries whatsoever. If you need any questions, there's like you know those old intercom systems where like you press a button and it reaches something?
Yeah.
There's like one of those in this room. Like, feel free to browse. I will try and get you something specifically on lava cooking. But feel free to relax. If you have any questions, once I get back to my desk, feel free to press that button. They seem to be like, while they're talking to you, their eyes are not on you, they're on the walls, and they're like just kind of moving through the bookshelves with the grace of someone who's memorized this place, you know?
Oh
like they pull a couple books out, they're like, no, that's not right. A couple more, like goes it from one hand to the other. It just seems that they have this flowing natural connection to this place. And eventually stumbling upon a very big book, just like very, very, very wide, just kind of flipping through it, eventually like from their pocket pulls out a bookmark, shoves it in between two binding parts. It is so it's person. I was able to get a first edition of that. No one really uses this version anymore, but I think it's fun. Things about
Thank you very much. My eyes are going to hurt by the time I am done reading. She flips to the first page.
They like
We'll have some good recipes for the road then. Oh, it'll be so much fun.
they add your wayfinder can take photographs. So if there's any specific things you want to keep for yourself, feel free to take photos of them.
Flash.
They're
Turn,
just gonna have
read,
a copy.
flash.
Yep. I love it. They're just like, all right, I believe I can leave you here. Let me go get the others, and I'll loop back to you.
Thank you.
They close the door, but they don't like make. It's very clear. It's like a very gentle close, you know.
Right.
They didn't like lock
yes.
it up or anything. Just like the very kind, like, all right, off we go, you know.
Right.
A few more hallways down. There's another room very similar in design, except when you go into this one, there's like old tools and equipment. And they're like, it's in here somewhere. This is like the one room I don't spend too much time in. There's a sparse amount of books in this room, and they seem visibly uncomfortable. But like digging through it, they eventually find an old camera. We're talking like Polaroid.
Like he's just jumping and like clapping his hands quickly. Like
They can old materials that people don't use anymore get donated here and kept here. So if you'd like to give it if you'd like to take it along with you, I have no qualm with it.
well, I appreciate that.
I take it you know how to use one of these. Otherwise, I'd happily show you some instructional books on them.
I think I do.
There's like a slight squint and then you know what? Let's just be safe here. They pull like one of the very few books from there and just hand it to you, and it's like a manual for this camera.
Ah, thank you.
I'll leave you to it. There's enough things here for you to try this thing out.
I just find a little area to go sit in and start flipping through.
Yep. Sprocket, yours is probably one of the furthest down hallways because you're looking for specifically like the mechanics of the city, you know?
Yeah.
So even this one, it seems like to open this door, he has to jump through a few more hoops, you know?
Yeah.
Then eventually swinging it open, there are like different like cylinders all like closed up in corners, and pulling one of them and spinning the top, pulling out like a large blue sheet of paper and spreading it out across this big table in the center of the room. There's like, here you go. This should be the blueprint of the cooling system.
Her little hair gill feathery things stand up. She's so excited.
A lot of other mechanics in the city are in those other ones. Just make sure not to damage them. I will get this. I will get the leader of the city-state's ire if anything happened to these.
Oh, okay. I'll try. She looks a little bit nervous.
Don't forget you could take photographs.
Yep. Okay. I'll try not to.
I will.
Bad.
Yeah, it is a little bit chillier in this room. I will tell you that.
Okay. Well.
Yeah.
Well, nothing I'm not used to, you know. It's hard out there for a lizard, you know. Gets cold.
Yeah. They just kind of like notice a little bit of discomfort, and they're like, they press a few buttons, and like it starts to get a little warmer. They're just like, I usually keep it colder in here to preserve, but I take it that however long you be in here won't cause any real damage.
Oh, it's okay. Thank you. I think maybe she pulls out a little gadget that maybe makes it a little bit warmer just for her. Maybe like the warming equivalent of one of those tiny little cheap hand fans.
Yeah. You like pin it to your
developed because
like
Koboloi are based off of lizards, which I take it don't do well in the cold.
They're not great.
She could have a blanket that's like a cold hot blanket, so it's like a cold hot heat pack, but bigger.
Yeah, maybe.
Like a heated blanket.
Like
Heated
she turns
blankets
on
are good.
a little switch in her cloak that makes it a little warmer.
Yes.
Yeah, they have those. Most delightful.
Wonderful. And finally, Achios, you're taken actually a little bit backwards. So like they went like almost end of the hall to get to where Sprocket wanted to go. So like a little bit back and on the other side, they opened one more door. And they're like, well, this should be our tomes on magic. And the unlike the others, which are very well documented, this is a very sparse room.
Well, I'm certainly grateful for all that you have here, as every little bit of knowledge will certainly assist me in attempting to understand the changes.
Yes. Might I ask, what is they kind of gesture to like the up and down of their attire, and they're just like, so might I ask what inspired your look?
My look. Oh yes. I come from a village which was beset by plague. It was devastating. And though I know it is perhaps no longer a shrill necessity, the old habits, they die hard, and I stay to guard that keeps safe and allowed me to assist in healing those that I could, and I seek to learn more to help others in the future not have to suffer the same fate.
I have not heard of a plague in quite some time. You must be a bit older than myself. They say this knowing full well that this librarian's like in their 30s.
I certainly do never attempt to guess at one's age. Never, and certainly I am grateful for the information you have provided. Achios, in their dramatic flair, gives a bow to half their waist in gratitude.
They give you a bit of an awkward wave. There is a book on healing magic, but it is a very small book compared to what the others have. So, you four are each in your own room, enjoying these books, Everyone roll me 1d20. No need to add any sort of attribute to them, just a d20. Because for just a specific thing about this.
Ready?
I got an 11.
14.
Okay.
10.
Okay.
I also got a 14.
So, with 14s, everyone with 14, you are able to pretty easily retain this information,
Mm-hmm.
Everything here makes sense to you. Like, Sprocket, you're just like, oh, so it is just turning a water magic thing,
Yeah.
It is magical in some way. I guess that makes sense, But then your mind kind of starts wandering to, maybe I can learn how to do it even without magic,
Yeah.
I think Roddy has also got the 14.
Nope, I got an 11.
Okay, so then the other 14 was Achios. So yes, Achios, a healing magic was definitely... It's well documented enough that you understand how it is done, with the exception of, like, as with all magic, there's that bit of weirdness to it, It's not... There's no formula for this. There's no way to perfect it. It's a lot of trial and error.
Still. Oh, sorry.
No, you're good.
Still quite a lot better than hearsay. To have at least recorded accounts and viable witnesses is most appreciated.
Yeah. With the 11, taking photos, you know how to do this. You're still having a little bit of trouble with the weight of the thing and, like, angling it, but, like, otherwise you're doing good,
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say the 10 with kombucha is that really you haven't started reading the page yet. You're still just taking photos of every single.
Yeah, it's probably a lot of like, take a picture, look at the thing, try to read. Nope, other picture, wipe drool, take next picture. She is being very careful not to drool on the books, though.
So that's yes. Give me a second. I'm going to look at the thing real quick. I'm just looking for a thing. Yes. So, because of you're not even really reading so much kombucha, you are the first to notice in your room. Yeah, you're the first to notice that in your room you hear something stirring.
She'll kind of look up from the book, snap one more photo. Hello? Is anyone there? She takes a look around.
Yeah. Are you gonna roll with anything, maybe?
Oh, I will roll with my. I'll try and use those animal senses that she's got because that seems like a good idea since this is a sensory situation.
Yeah, that sounds
nice.
Okay, so let's see how this goes. I got a 14.
You tap into your ability to like sense things the way your animal, like the fauna of this world, might be able to. And as you kind of close your eyes and focus, maybe you don't. Actually, you describe this to me. What kind of like animal are you trying to tap into?
Well, I mean, I think she heard something, right?
Yeah.
So she like thinks a moment about like, okay, what can hear pretty well? And she thinks about a bat. So she kind of like tilts her ear and like wiggles it a little bit.
Yeah, the magic kind of coats around your ear. And while it doesn't actually change, if someone were to walk into the room, they'd see your magic like expand around your ear to almost
Gotcha.
look like a bat's.
Yeah.
And you close your eyes, eyelids, see a ping. And in that ping, there's like, you kind of gesture a bit closer.
You're breaking up a bit.
Okay. Can you hear me? Hold on. Yeah, my ping spike just happened on me, but I think I'm back to normal.
It was just a matter of that intensity building for the situation. So you find out.
Yeah.
A lot of anticipation.
You close your eyes, there's this like ping, the way like an echolocation. There's like a ping, you know, just the way you might see.
Right. So like ping. So I'll follow the ping, see what's there.
You end up moving a book, and you see this. Let it load. Perfectly folded, very ornate blue paper. It looks like a stationary bit of origami.
Kombucha stares at it. Doesn't touch it immediately because she's smart enough to know she's not the smartest person when it comes to weird magic stuff. Who's our good weird magic friend?
Yo.
Okay.
I'd wager it's Achios or Sprocket.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Sprocket's fine with weird magic, but mostly when it's in objects. You know, weird magic items.
Yeah.
This is weird, and it's an item. So I will go to find Sprocket and not touch, because I have this feeling there was a last time and things went poorly. So she like stops her finger and she walks with that finger raised up and just starts going looking for them and just like, Sprocket!
You all hear, because Sprocket's at the very end of the hall and Kombucha was in the very start, you'd all hear Kombucha yelling for Sprocket from your rooms.
And I assume I hear it eventually.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes? Did something explode?
No, something moved. Something that's not supposed to move.
Ooh!
Did you break something again?
Did a book fall?
Are
No,
you injured?
I'm fine. I'm fine. It's just there's something was moving around and it looked like a little paper dragon.
Ooh.
Most interesting.
Let's go check it out.
Oh,
Okay.
Take
the manual way.
Yes. Taking one last glance at your respective work, though I might guess that Rodius probably slings the camera around their neck. Taking one last glance at your books, you all would leave your rooms and follow Sprocket and Kombucha back. Whereupon, on that shelf, that little origami dragon is gone.
It was right here.
So it moved again?
I mean, I heard it moving in the first place, which is why I moved the book to go see where it was. Only now I don't know where it is. But maybe I can find out.
Yes. Are you gonna
So
roll
can I
again?
roll to sniff it? Yeah, I'm gonna try and
Yeah.
bloodhound
Yeah.
this thing. Okay. Ooh, that's not as good. That was a 10.
With a 10, you're unable to really sniff out the last one, but as you're trying and kind of failing, you hear a book fall, and you know all your friends are in the center of the room. And so, chasing after that book, you look where it fell. There's another one. This time out of black paper with a more imposing form.
Can I use my D10 eye for details to observe the dragon?
After following them in their mad rush towards the book.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mind if I join in?
Go for it.
I got a 19.
Okay.
Let's see, 6 and a 4. That's a 10.
So with a 19, I'll get to you with the 10. With a 19, you're able to notice that even though the dragon, like when the book fell, looked completely stationary, it does seem like the wings still have like they're stopping. You know what I mean? They just have like slight jitter of started and now are trying to stop, or like were in movement and are now trying to stop. Now with the 10, however, Rodius, you kind of like can't really see where they're looking, and you back up. You know.
Yep.
And you kind of thunk into one of the bookshelves, and you swear you hear just a little, as you look up directly above you, and looking down at you is another one.
Guys, girls, everyone, you heard that, right? I think I got a friend up here. I'm just point.
Kombucha, is there any possible way you can use your ability and try speaking with them? They are dragons, after all, and certainly seem to be some form of animate, if particularly pissed at us.
I can use animal-like senses, not animal-like languages. I don't know if I could do that.
I'm gonna
maybe make them sense that we're not trying to hurt them?
I'm going to slowly lift the camera and try taking a picture. Trying to move as slow as possible so I don't scare this thing.
Okay. You go for it. Sprocket, what are you doing in this just hullabaloo?
Sprocket, I think is actually looking through her toolbox to try and see either find or quickly create a small little wind-up animal that might be about the same size as these creatures, maybe a dragonfly or a beetle.
Okay.
While my cohorts are working, I can try to use my dramatic flair. It's only a D4, but I can try to distract the dragons so that they don't notice the camera or the toy construction. So hopefully we can roll that D4. See what this do. Oh, 4. So I pull out my lyre and I'm just sort of doot dancing and singing horribly.
You do that, and it's at this moment that I tell you this, and take with and do with it what you will. They are completely stationary. Gratius did hear sound, and through very good focusing, Aekios noticed like the stagnation of the wings, But since the moment you spotted them, they've been in their position and they have not moved.
Ooh.
My flair for the dramatic lives on.
Yep, you're just still performing, but they're just still standing there as if they were just stationary paper. D20 plus your attribute dice, Sprocket. How does that
I did really well. I got a natural 20 on the D20 and a 7 on my Genius Inventor. So that's a 27.
So really quickly putting together this little wind-up dragonfly, I'll even say that you had enough time to be able to stitch together a device to it that lets you see through the dragonfly eyes from your wayfinder.
Cool.
So you kind of flick it from your finger, and this little skier in the center starts, and it starts batting its wings and flying around. And so far, they're just still stagnant. It's really hard to tell. And then your little dragonfly flies over that first blue one that hasn't been seen, and it is crawling in that position, moving very quickly. And once the dragonfly comes to it, just instantly locks up.
Ooh. I have an idea, everybody. Close your eyes. I think they don't move when we're watching them.
But do we want them moving?
Oh, I don't know. That's a good question.
Nothing ventured, I guess. And I closed my eyes.
Eyes closed.
Yeah. Rocket closes her eyes and moves the little dragonfly so the camera bit is facing a wall.
Kombucha covers her eyes.
You all kind of count to 3 in your head, and when you lift them, they're all in different places, but keeping the same frame. You know what I mean? But they're all in different spots. It didn't seem like they were necessarily doing it doesn't seem like they've been doing anything in that time. It just seemed like they were just moving around.
Mayhaps this is an ordinary part of the library?
Maybe?
Do they? Do you communicate?
There's at that question, you all would notice, because I'm gonna let it be seen, that there is one more than when you opened your eyes. There was one more than when you closed them, and it is the biggest one. Granted, it is the biggest one of origami, so big is subjective. You know what I mean? This is the difference between half a pencil to a pencil in height. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this quote unquote biggest one is in the center of you 4. And when you say, can you communicate, from this stagnant position, you just hear this little hiss. Not not like a snake hiss, but just a
Is it bad that I feel a little bit intimidated?
Oh, I thought that was kombucha sneezing.
They're kind of cute.
There's this.
No, I was just about to ask. Didn't we head down to like an area that isn't commonly used as much because we were all looking at older books?
Yep.
Maybe they've all been down here for a while and nobody's noticed just because they're not here very often.
You need food? Are you hungry? Do paper eat? Huh.
Is any?
That's actually a good question.
Yeah. You can. They can't really communicate too much, but if anyone wants to try and do anything, they are in a stagnant position and they are all ears.
Okay.
Oh,
I am gonna.
Sprocket, would you happen to have? Oh, sorry.
No, you can go first.
Oh, because maybe since they seem to be popping up and they're of paper, do you think that they maybe can write down a message if they can't talk? Perhaps something, a list of demands, better lighting and erasers. I don't know.
Okay. She pulls out a pen and turns to a fresh page in her notebook and kind of sets it down in front of the biggest one. It's like, all right, everybody, close your eyes.
Eyes closed.
Okay, eyes closed.
You count to 3 again, and when you open your eyes and look down, there is writing. But the other thing you've noticed is even though they didn't finish, the paper is ripped out of the notebook. There is writing on it, and it looks like they were trying to fold it into another origami dragon.
We can't do that.
Folding the page, you would read the words on it, and it just says like, "We mean no harm" is the first sentence, followed by "We're just lonely."
Aww.
Must have been all by yourself down here for so long.
And the 4 are a bit closer into they're kind of close to you now, but it's at this point that Sprocket, since you are seeing it, you realize like where that fold was with the writing. You'd think that they're all folded in such a way where if there was writing, they would have to be unfolded to read them.
Are there words in you?
And for the first time, they all kind of break that lock they're in and all kind of like slowly nod very quickly.
Would unfolding you hurt you?
They all kind of look at each other and they shake their heads no. Like they all kind of needed. They were like, "Let's double check first." I don't think so. And then no.
So, do you want us all to read you?
Mixed signals. A few say yes, a few say no.
Does reading you perhaps does one of you have the secret on how to make more of you so you will have more friends?
They all the other 3, the blue and the 2 black ones, back off.
Is that a problem? Are those not the friends you're looking for?
The 3 have backed off, so that way the only one still in the center of the circle is the red one, the one that you gave the paper to.
Okay then.
And it like at this point, the red one just like kind of. It was the only one that was still like trying to stay in its pose, but I think at this point it's kind of got the jig is up, you know. So
right,
it kind of like unfurls a bit and pulls at itself, like stretches its wings, and it starts to unfold itself, and it doesn't seem to be in any pain doing this. It just seems to just naturally do, And as it unfolds, there is ink written on the back of this piece of paper, and it's hard to read. It's kind of old, withered, and most importantly, the handwriting ain't great. But it does say, it gets lonely, the three of us it gets lonely, the three of us here in this library. So have a friend while you organize the underbelly. And then it's signed a name you haven't seen, but it is signed, and basically it seems like it's just a note to someone that it's lonely that there's only 3 people in this library, and so they made this creature to be a friend. And as it,
perhaps Sprocket would know something about this. AQS goes to Sprocket, encouraging them to read and see if maybe they can recognize the signature to see who possibly could have made such incredible designs.
Yeah, she
Sprocket,
will go up and read it and see. Does she recognize the name?
You don't recognize it, but you are able to take a crack,
Yeah.
It did mention that there's 3 people working in the library, and when you were here earlier, Apis did mention that they have a partner.
Okay.
And since it's not Apis's signature, like the suggestion is that Apis's partner made this little thing when he works underneath here, just to have someone around,
Okay.
Yeah.
And when it did that, as you finally read it and it curls itself back up, it walks over to the blue dragon, and the blue dragon kind of lowers itself, and the red dragon starts unfolding it, and it's sure enough a copy of that message, except instead of "it's lonely with only 3 people here," it just says "it's lonely with only 1 dragon. Here's a friend." And then the next one would read, "It's lonely with only 2 dragons. Here's a friend."
Oh.
And so essentially these dragons have been creating more of each other to have a little community.
Sprocket would like to take a piece of paper out of her notebook. Actually no, she would like to try and tinker, make a little toy dragon, and use her gadget magic to essentially make a little kind of wind-up toy friend for them.
Yeah.
So would this be a genius inventor and a gadget magic roll?
Yes.
Okay. So the first one, the genius inventor, is that is a 20, not natural. That was a 16 on the D20 and a 4 on the D12.
Mm-hmm.
And then for the gadget magic, that is a D6. That is a 14 plus 5. Oh, I'm rolling good D20s tonight. So that is a 19. And then that is magic, so I would have to roll for wild magic, correct?
If you got below a 15. So because you got a 19 on that roll, you are good.
I did not. And the Koboloi bad luck, would that also only apply if that's below a 15? Or
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll actually roll
so I'll roll my D6.
bad luck, which I think is a D6.
Yeah. Oh,
So
that is
that
a 6.
one, it would just be the way. Yeah, that one.
You cut out again.
Number you rolled, the skill of it is the same that original roll.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm pulling it up because I believe I rolled a D6 to lower
Yes. So like the skill of it is still the same. So like you still did a 19 like skill wise. It's still a good, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but this would increase my chance of getting a wild magic surge. Correct?
Exactly. So while
So
it doesn't take away how well you did the thing, it just is
Yeah.
at 6 to get you closer to that 15. Yeah, exactly.
yes, so that would trigger wild magic then, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
So you designed this cute little wind, and I imagine it is very cute. This little wind-up dragon. I googled it, so like something like this.
Oh, that's adorable.
But as you like start to spin the key and like bits of magic start to go into the key, roll a d20.
That is an 8.
Okay, give me a second. Oh my god, this works surprisingly well. Okay, so 8 is you become irresistibly scented to a particular animal of the GM's choice for 2 hours, but because you were touching the key when you were doing this spell, this like scent comes off of the key, and all the paper dragons see this little wind-up one and love it. They're all like instantly amazed by it as it just starts rolling on its wheels and its little tail spins every now and then. They're all just kind of like, they break their locks to like jump on the thing's back and like just kind of use it as a little bit of a mix of a parade float and a car and just kind of like just enjoys spinning around on it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And eventually the more ornate black one, the like full size one that kind of leans up, just sees that the key eventually winds down, and then taking its 2 little paper hands, just kind of like cranks the key and it keeps spinning and going in circles. So these little dragons are just mesmerized by this wind-up toy, and I think at this point Apis would kind of come in like, I heard that there was some weird sounds coming from down. What is happening?
I made them a friend.
Is that where they've been off this whole time? I didn't realize it. Like, the red one. My partner's been away on a bit of a trip. I'm holding down the fort, but it does look kind of lonely. Before they took off, they made that little origami dragon as like a. I thought it was a cute little memento. I must have completely ignored it in my work and in my haste, and I didn't realize that it would make more. I didn't realize it was even magical, but oh, now I feel bad. I had no idea that this thing was able to do any of this.
They're very sneaky. They don't move a whole lot unless, nobody's watching them most of the time, although they seem to be making exception for their new mechanical friend.
They kind of like look at it and just go, "Did you guys make this? It's adorable."
You have our lovely Sprocket to thank for that.
Yeah, I like making things.
It's very cute. Thank you. I'm sure they enjoy it. I can tell they enjoy it. He kind of like lifts up the dragon, spins the key way more than that little paper-handed dragon could, and like it starts going, and it's gonna last much longer, much to the dragon's delight. And they're just like, well, that little mystery is solved. Did you want to go to the lava flows? Get some cooking and your the rest of your intrigues done?
Sounds like a plan.
Only if Kombucha's done taking pictures of the books.
Did I get good pictures of the lava flow cooking? If not, I'll go back and snap a few pictures.
You in the time you had, I'm gonna say that you've basically managed to photograph over half of the entire book. so you can do it. And they're just
I
like,
think we can wing this. It sounds good. I am ready to cook She gets out like a giant spatula off her back.
Apis just kind of chuckles.
Radius is just looking at like, how the heck did I miss that?
I was wondering the same thing.
APOS just mutters about how they're only eating what they cook if they wash that thing first. It can't be a back scratcher and a cooking tool. It just can't.
Oh, multi-purpose.
No,
I'll have
no,
you know this is
multi-purpose.
very
How many
serious.
times have that conversation?
Let me scratch my back with this end. The other one is kept immaculate.
Anything can be a back scratcher. Point enough.
We're all going to die from curable diseases.
The little wind-up dragonfly, like, just like as Achios is like having this moment about diseases, the little wind-up dragonfly like falls on Achios' shoulder.
Oh, my. Well, they're paper, so hopefully not that many germs.
It like
They have been down here for a while.
it dances off and goes back to Sprocket, who like would probably like gently place it to their pouch.
I think she
Well,
turns it off or something.
Yeah. Its little power source had drained because it was just kind of idling that whole time.
She'll disassemble it and reassemble it into something else.
Yeah.
Reuse.
Exactly. It was very cool. So Abus would lead you out to the lava flows. It's at this point you came into town probably in like the middle of the day, so it's kind of starting to get sundown. So the light from the like lava is actually very cool lighting as you kind of go under like the streets of the main city a bit. There's like some steps made into the stone, and basically think the way that you would find like a bridge and then a river, except the river is lava.
Ooh, look, you could take a good photo here.
I pull out my camera. All right, let me just click.
The Polaroid spits out from the front end.
I grab it before it potentially falls into the lava.
Yeah. You grab it and you just kind of like look at this thing like, who designed this?
What dark magic is this?
Kombucha, you have you're a cook. You're a renowned chef. I'm gonna say you have quite a few different things on your person.
Cool. Yeah, I figured as much. So get out scary cooking tool number 45. I just want to have something called a war spork. It's just like a giant spork. It has big tongs on it. And she's going to throw together some kind of like soup in there and then start cooking it on the lava flow while she lets like some flanks of something just start cooking up. And she'll flip them with her offhand.
As you start doing this, the smells coming from this lava flow are just really good. It's cooking really quickly because it's cooking at a decent speed. It's lava.
Yeah.
But like part of being singed in just unique places because of this heat,
Right. It's very fast cooking.
Yeah. But as the sun is starting to set and the light from this lava flow is taking like way more of the primary light source, as are like different torches that come on around the town, which you can tell are like, because this is the fire magic city, you can tell that they're idle and then at night like turn on with fire magic. You can even hear them like starting up like the way an oven would start,
It's very like cool red kind of orange glow to everything in a way, I'm guessing.
Exactly. Yep. You all kind of like take a seat on these stone steps as kombucha starts stirring. Do you want to roll with like a cooking action to see how it turns out?
Yep.
Radius just looks over his
I got a 15 on it.
First time doing it, really good for your first time. You weren't prepared. It's a little burned because you weren't prepared for just how fast this thing would cook,
Yep, I can see that.
Yeah, you didn't realize just how quick stuff would sear through. But for the most part, you were able to like guesstimate just a little late. Nothing too bad. Uh, pouring it into bowls you have prepared. Are you preparing one for everyone in the group?
Oh yeah, like she uses the war sport, like a big giant ladle and pours it into each of the bowls, and then she takes the stuff that probably got this most singed. Like I'm thinking the soup probably turned out okay, but the actual like meaty bits. So she chops them up and like scrapes off the char as much as she can, cuts off anything that doesn't seem right, and then like sprinkles those into each of the bowls based on what everybody's like good with eating. If everybody's good with whatever she made, then yeah, obviously I'll get some of that. So just broth.
Yeah. Anyone have anything they'd want specified about the way they eat?
Like I'm just saying, she respects dietary restrictions and things like that as far as like whoever she's cooking for.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, I think Sprocket has become an adventurous eater from traveling with kombucha.
That's fair.
Probably used to eat mostly, I don't know, bugs or something, but since she's traveled with kombucha, she eat most everything.
Yeah. So oh no, go for it.
I was just gonna say, yeah, food's food. As long as it's
Yes, they may be adventures in digestive pain, but we will undertake them together.
Akios, are you able to eat with that thing on?
Yes, I just slipped the food under it.
Oh, that makes sense.
I thought we were gonna need to get like a silly straw.
No, I can assure you I am most fine.
So you all kind of eat looking over this lava flow. And it is, like I said, for like Akios and Sprocket and wow, Radius, you would know that kombucha experiments a lot, and like I'd imagine it's pretty hit or miss with kombucha's explorations. Definitely a hit.
Absolute delight.
My compliments to the chef.
And kombucha's all smiles and sips her own and pretty much devours it.
Yeah. At this point, Apis just kind of like chimes in and just says, "Well, if the dragons."
I forgot Apis was there. She would definitely have gotten a bowl for them. Like,
oh yeah, they were very thankful and probably like devoured it very quickly. They just kind of they'd confide in you that their partner did most of the cooking, and they've been surviving off of like the little they know. They're trying really hard. So like, this is, thank God they didn't have to cook is basically the point they're making. They even split. Yeah, huh?
I was like, the college student lifestyle.
Mm-hmm. Look, when you're a librarian, you're basically a college student forever.
Yep.
They'd even like give a little to their baby Crystal, who's delighted. At some point, Apis, however, would just go like, "Well, if the dragon escapade we had this morning wasn't a indicator, I don't have much going on. If you'd like to come back to the library, I'd happily let you stick around for as long as you'd like. I don't have a lot of company usually in the evenings, so if at dinner I could show you a few more things and you could spend more time with the dragons. I can't believe our house has dragons."
I'm sure they make great pets.
Well, they're very low maintenance.
Exactly.
Indeed, no need to clean after them.
Yeah, pet rocks were a thing when and now I'm just kind of like, who would people prefer cool origami dragon to a rock?
Origami Dragon definitely has some
You see,
advantages.
you could see that they're having like, it does,
Yes.
especially for younger children. You could just see that they're already like thinking to themselves,
I fear with their sentience that perhaps if they were to become damaged, that things could escalate. A pet rock is rather injury-free, less thrown at someone, or perhaps jumps at one in a fit of some kind.
Yeah.
That's true.
There can be some very pretty rocks, I have to say.
Well, it is actually kind of nice with the lava light. I don't actually go out much, so this isn't bad. I could get used to travel. I see why my partner did it, actually. I should have gone with that. No,
That's okay.
I said, pull down the library, I said.
Is there someone else who could watch over the library? Who though would watch after your child?
I would have had to bring Hehu with me, but yeah, you're probably right. The little crystal just kind of like is picked up by Apis when they say their name,
Mm-hmm.
They just seem very happy, kind of kick their feet.
Is her quest a dangerous one?
No, just typical research. Something in Maritol caught their attention. They think that they found treasure. They're a bit of a sucker for shiny things. I'm more interested in, actual research and books and things, and they're a bit more. They share my passions, but they just happen to have a weakness for treasures and shiny things.
Well, I can't say that I don't like shiny things.
Shiny things aren't not nice. It's just I don't not appreciate shiny things. I just no. It's not my main weakness the way it is theirs.
Well, there's flavors for the eyes and flavors for the mind and flavors for the tongue. So everybody's got their own things they like.
This is true. They just kind of like seem to relax a bit. They were very tense this whole,
Mm-hmm.
And just kind of had like, I'm glad you all showed up today. I didn't have anything planned, and it's been quiet. I don't quite know what I'm going to do about the dragons yet, but I'm sure they'll be fine. They've managed.
They seem mostly harmless.
Yeah, I don't quite know exactly what their deal is yet, but I mean, it's something to look into now, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
And hey, maybe they can help out around the library.
True, I did have to, especially guiding people, I had to walk you all down a very long hallway. They could stop at doors and show you exactly where you need to go.
Oh,
Reach
yeah.
higher shelves. I mean, they can fly. Oh, wait. Sky Elf.
Could be really good assistance.
This is true. Here, tell you what. They kind of stand up. Let's go back inside. It's still nice out here. Even if it was cold outside, it would have been warm because you're sitting by lava. The only occasional issue is sometimes like a little spurt would come out and someone would just have to like move their foot up,
Rodius is just staring at the lava flow, half wondering, did you do something reckless? But he's like, no, the last time that didn't end well.
Oh. Oh, do we wanna, I don't know, just go swimming?
I was thinking bit of geomancy, and a little stone surfboard, and surf down the lava flow. Might be a great picture.
I promise you, if you're not careful, you're going to regret it.
Probably. Wait.
I feel like could also regret not doing it.
Apis just kind of like sits comfortably and kind of looks to Kombucha and just goes, "Is this every city? Do they do something like this every city?"
I mean, yeah, probably.
I kind of nod and just go, it's fun to watch. Are you actually going to do this geomancy surfboard?
You know what? I said it. I'm going to do it.
Now that you said it, it's Chekhov's gun. You can't not. I need it.
If you get hurt, I will heal you. I do have healing magic.
Now, see, I got that. Just crack my knuckles, crack my neck, and I'm going to use my racial ability, Crystalline Armor.
Yes.
Right.
So that's a D20 and a D6?
Yep.
All right, well, that's a 6 on the D6 and a 6 on the D20.
So crystalline armor is more yourself, so you give yourself slight crystal padding.
All right.
But the actual surfboard would be more of like a proper geomet,
Yep, time for geomancy.
Okay.
So 7 and a 7, that's 14 in total.
It's not the most aesthetically pleasing surfboard, but it has the shape and function. But you do have to roll wild magic because you got a 14.
D20, right?
Yep.
That is a 14.
Okay. Oh, I'm going to tell you when that kicks in because I know I love it. So you make the surfboard in your hands, you kind of throw it onto the lava and jump. Do you say something?
Cowabunga!
It's at this moment that multicolored prismatic shapes appear around them as the sign of wild magic kicking in. And it's now that I tell you that 14 is. You become very emotive with your hands. You cannot speak without pantomime.
Oh, this is going to be good.
So as the lava flow starts to drift you up, you shout cowabunga, and instead of getting into position, you start doing the surfer hand gesture, and you realize, oh shit, you're moving.
Zoom.
It was at this point that Rodius knew he messed up.
I imagine that very soon it becomes less of surfing position and more grabbing onto it for your life. Because
do have. I was born in Cindir. I have harnessing the flames. Can I try to cool things down a bit? Because it says make something.
You can try, yeah.
I'm just shifting the heat away from him, basically.
Yeah, so that the crystalline armor can kind of like be fine.
Okay, let me give that a shot here. 13, and then the ability is a D8. I'm looking for it here. I don't have a D8. All right. Good thing. Sorry, my dice came without the full set, so it's just been. I'll just roll a D4 twice. 4, and then a 2, so a 6. So 6 and 11.
You're able.
17.
You're able to cool it down a bit. So when you inevitably like touch the lava, it's not as bad, and you kind of like.
I don't touch lava. I yank him by his scruff.
I was thinking of extending my war spork out and being like, grab the spore! And then possibly trying to fling them to safety.
Yes.
No, I've got him by the scruff. He is back in the boat, and we are on our way back to shore. Are you injured?
Nah, I'm fine. He's just waving his hands. Like, nah, I'm fine, I'm good. That was awesome.
What we'll say is you could probably scoop out the board with the spork.
Sounds good.
When they get back to shore, Sprocket just gives him a big high five. Nice.
Well, at least Kombucha got a new cooking board out of it.
Mm.
That is
fair
actually
enough.
it's a very nice cooking board, actually.
You know?
Does it smell like cooked feet?
Oh yeah, that might be the one down.
Maybe. At least it's clean. We know it was just washed after just being made. And that is our thank you for an excellent meal. I'm getting away from the smell now.
There's potpourri in the beak. It's fine.
There's potpourri in my mask, but I can still smell that.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
You take this board back to the library. Sprocket, did you want to go in, or were you just trying to peer pressure Rodius?
I think realistically in this world, would Sprocket be in like significant physical danger if she went in? Like, would she be badly burnt?
If you went in to swim, probably. If you went in with like a board or something like that, probably not.
Oh, then I think she probably went in with a board.
Do you want to design? Since you're an inventor, do you think you'd probably like try to put something together?
Yeah, I mean, I think she'd probably just, try and... I think she'd use her think on your feet attribute to try and look and find just the nearest implement that could be used as a board. That is a 16. 10 on the D10. 6 on the D10 and a 10 on the D20.
You find like a stone shape that you realize you can work with. And in cartoons would like to show that someone's like doing something, there's just like the dust cloud over it. As Kombucha and Aegios like pull Rodius out, you kind of see this like curved stone with like a hole in it in just like the right way. You kind of like rub your little hands together and the dust cloud appears. And there's just like gear sounds and drill sounds, And eventually you kind of like hold out your arms to like light this as you've created out of the stone and your own inventions. Basically a Koboloi-sized longboat.
Woohoo!
And you like push it out onto the lava flow and kind of jump, and you just kind of like, because the flow is curved in such a way that it just kind of goes lazily around the city, unless you're not prepared. You all get to like go onto like the city street / bridges and just watch your friend just take a nice like lazy boat ride across the city on lava. You probably like follow, just like watching them go from your landlocked positions, because it was Koboloi sized.
She waves at them.
Aegios waves back.
I will do that again one day, I swear.
So does this happen a lot?
I think after she gets a little bit downriver, she'll try and come out. She doesn't want to drift away.
Yeah, you'd crawl back out. You'd be able to like jump back. Does this happen often? Apis just goes, no. Most people are a bit intimidated by the prospect of sailing on lava.
Well, good to know. Hope you took some pictures.
They did. I did. And you all just kind of like, even though Sprocket's back with you all, the boat just keeps going down the river. And just kind of like, Apis just kind of turns to everyone and just goes, that's going to scare the pants out of someone who's not just ominously boat with nothing in it, just lazing down the waterways. That's just, someone's going to see that. But it's not my problem.
Great, we may have started a citywide man search for whatever small child has gone missing from that boat.
No, I don't think it'll.
Look, we saw nothing.
It's fine.
It's fine. And I will say, because it's about time, in the morning, you'd probably spend the night over, like, you'd all have your own rooms in the library, you know?
Mhm.
And this is a little bit of a post note. In the morning, when you take off to do your next leg of adventuring and exploring, the boat would have just looped back around. And and like inside the boat, people have dropped like coins and different things. Like we were just like, oh, that's fun. Like they weren't like scared or anything, just like, oh, that's fun, and threw like little, just like little things into the boat.
Cindir's donation boat.
Exactly.
Rocket throws a little piece of scrap metal into the boat.
And to that, and people say to this very day, a little boat goes by.
We made like a little wishing well, but it's like, for lava.
It's a boat in lava. I'm not joking. I love this joke so much that if I am in Cindir and have the opportunity, I will call back to the little lava boat. It's so funny.
Oh god, we made it again. Beautiful.
It's so funny. It's so funny. Because I think the thing is, Apis is the only one who knows. Because you all are travelers. No one would know where it came from. You've created the local cryptid.
Some say there's a treasure on the boat that no one's ever been able to get to.
Because who would risk life and limb for tiny little shreds of stuff on a boat?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, who would do that?
Wonder who. Alright, this is a good spot to wrap it up. One more time, everyone. If you want to leave people off with your social handle, if you'd like to share that, or at least where, if you want to be found, where they can find you. And like any parting messages you'd have. I'll go chat order again. So CJ.
Oh, this was a really wonderful playtest. I'm really glad I got to do this. I had a really great time. I'm on Twitter at CJApples1. Yeah, thank you, B, for running such a wonderful game.
No worries.
And thank you to everyone else for being such wonderful co-players. And I'll pass it on down.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can find me on Twitter at mothermultiverse at gamestetic.com, or you could find my page on itch, also under Mother Multiverse. This game was so stinking cute. Like, there was too much adorable. It was almost teeth aching. I loved it. But it is not my usual experience in games where I'm like, oh no, you're not getting hit with like cute once or twice. It's gonna be like adorable like almost the whole way through. I thought that was actually just amazing, and I love how everybody was able to kind of play into the sort of, peaceful but adventurous vibe going on with it. It was really cool. It was a fun experience.
Thank you. Are we passing it down?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I gotta say, this was absolutely amazing, and I am sorely tempted to use Rodius in other systems now. He's gonna become my main character now. I can just feel it.
Do it.
Also, if there's any fan artists out there, I am begging you, please make fan art of the Cindir boat. I need this in my life.
The Cindir, just I don't. CJ, you'll have to tell me maybe after this, like what you'd imagine it could look like, just so I have a visual I can send to people.
Yes.
You can find me on Twitter at Cobalt Gale, where I'm usually talking nonstop about random tabletop RPGs. And occasionally you can find me on Twitch at MMOverlord, where if my internet and my computer are willing, I stream whatever the heck I feel like. Might go back to Total Warhammer 2. Who knows? But thank you so much for letting me be a part of this. I enjoyed it so much.
I enjoyed having you.
Melody Davis at Sweet Tea Chibi Twitter. And I actually do draw stuff, so I think I can draw the Cindir boat. Everyone can tell me what they left in the boat, so I can draw our little offerings to this new cryptid that'll be floating through. So definitely an amazing game, an amazing game master. It was fun to be part of such a saturn setting. And you gotta use Radius because he's got so much pumice. So he can be a great character.
God. All right.
So good.
This might have been the first time someone was able to end the playtest on a stinger like that. So, congratulations, you've done it. Well, this is a lot of fun. I'll
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.